ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode number 3 of Shamrock Sports Talk Radio. And I'm here tonight alone by myself, but I have a guest for tonight. But this is the show. Before introducing my guest, this is the show in which we are about the pride, tradition, sweat, tears, victory, determination of the Boston sports. I'm Igor Mitic. I'm from Serbia, Europe. Andy Vernon is absent tonight. And if you want to give us a ring, you can see the number right there, 512-543-4662. 512-543-4662. Number on your screen down. You can find us on Twitter, Shamrock Sports Talk Radio. I will post the picture of that soon. So this is our official Twitter account. You can find us there, and the Zone Sports Talk Radio Facebook page, Kevin Dixon, Igor Mitic, and of course YouTube, Kevin Dixon and the Zone Sports Talk Radio live stream. I'm tonight with my friend and colleague Bobby Krivitsky. He's the reporter from Sports Illustrated Celtics, SE Illustrated Celtics. You can find his work at Bobby Krivitsky Twitter. He's very knowledgeable guy, and my old friend Bobby. Can you hear me? And welcome to the show.
Loud and clear, Igor. Thanks for having me on.
Excellent stuff. Let's jump to the start because we have like 15 minutes with you. The news of the day, and you can see on the picture, is news of the week. Ime Udoka to the Nets any minute from now, imminent. He is front runner from the job, and this kind of news just exploded this week and caused the different reaction from the Celtics fans and the Celtics players. It seems like John Mizzula will stay as a Celtics coach as permanent solution for now, and it seems like Ime Udoka will leave the Celtics for the Nets. What is strange in this story is that the Celtics just let Ime Udoka go without any kind of compensations and that kind of stuff. I have here the text from the insider Adrian Wojnarowski. So suspended coach Ime Udoka has emerged as likely the new coach, Brooklyn Nets head coach, and should be finalized in the next 48 hours. The Celtics will let him go, and the hope is that Udoka can tighten the Nets defensively and can command the respect on the franchise key players. Udoka spent a season of Steve Nash staff before accepting the Celtics job and winning the Eastern Conference. First of all, your impressions about this news?
Yeah, so there's a lot to unpack there, Igor. We'll start with this. I don't know why Sean Marks feels the need to deny and pretend that this is not happening. There's always a chance. It's a fluid situation, and if the backlash is strong enough in the midst of another PR crisis / nightmare that they're also dealing with right now, maybe they do decide it's just not tenable. It's a very different situation, obviously. But just what comes to mind off the top right now is the Miami Dolphins wanted to go through with bringing in Sean Payton and Tom Brady. And if it weren't for circumstances surrounding that, that's what ultimately pushed them away. It wasn't that wasn't who they wanted to bring in. The Nets want to hire Ime Udoka, but maybe there's a chance it doesn't happen. At the same time, this is happening, right? We all know that. They were looking in and investigating, and maybe it was a very light investigation because this is who they want to hire, but they were looking into this days before Steve Nash went to them and said, it's finally, it's time for me to go. This just is not working. They're ignoring me. I don't have the locker room, and it's my time is up. So this didn't start, that night after the win against the Pacers and happen in a matter of hours that they were able to, have this come out from Woj and Shams as well the next day that he's the front runner. He's the guy they want to hire. So we can start there. And then next up is the Celtics element of this. And yes, they do have within their right, if they wanted to demand compensation. At the same time, they want to untangle themselves from this matter. They want to get rid of it. And I would not be surprised, Igor. Let's say the Nets had never shown interest in Udoka. Let's say no team had. I still think there was a distinct possibility that during the season, the Celtics would have bought him out of his contract. There are legal aspects of this. And ultimately, the Celtics, they just wanted to wipe their hands of this and walk away from it.
Absolutely. I mean, so you just explained why we didn't require as a team any compensation for Ime Udoka. Older fans will remember when coach Doc Rivers wanted to leave the Celtics for Los Angeles Clippers. Danny Ainge, who was at the time president of basketball operations of the Boston Celtics, he got compensation, a pick, if I remember, even though technically you cannot trade coach, but you can ask for some kind of compensation. So you really think that in this current situation in which the Celtics wanted to get rid of Ime Udoka, we could not require nor get any compensation from the Nets?
It's not that they couldn't, it's that they simply were not going to, for a few different reasons. And again, legal and financial matters are directly tied to it. And so is the fact that they want to untangle themselves from this matter and distance themselves, be done with it, and move on. They did not promote Joe Mizzula to head coach with the idea that he would not be there next season as well and moving forward. That's their hope with Joe Mizzula. It's why he was chosen for this job. And Ime Udoka, as soon as this all happened, Igor, his time in Boston was over. He's not coming back to coach the Celtics.
Right. That's what I said. The Celtics fans were hoping, and from the statements of the players, it seems like some of them were hoping that Ime Udoka will be back, and they are really disappointed. But Joe Mizzula is doing solid job for now. I mean, the next question is obvious. What do you think about Joe Mizzula? He is facing with a lot of problems at the beginning of the season, like injuries, like changing of the coach, a little changing of the system. We heard that Joe Mizzula is dedicated, is going to give accent on the Celtics offense, unlike Ime Udoka. Ime Udoka emphasized the defense, and the Celtics indeed had the best defense at the end of the last regular season and the beginning of the playoffs. Right now I have a graphic which is saying that after just 1 second, after 8 games, it is a really small picture. So the Celtics are like 8 offense, so the offense is good, 18th defense, the defense is bad, and 10th in the net ratings. But one note that we are playing without injured players, Robert Williams and Danilo Gallinari at first line. Tonight, for example, Al Horford will not play against the Knicks. So how do you see Joe Mizzula in the first 8 games? The Celtics are 5-3. Do you believe that he will be a long-term solution for the Celtics?
I believe he'll have the job long-term. It would take a really disastrous playoff performance for the Celtics to go out in the offseason and bring in a more established coach. There were even rumors, Igor, that they would bring in someone like perhaps Frank Vogel to help strengthen that coaching staff heading into the campaign. There was
Mm-hmm.
talk, they did in fact reach out to Jay Larranaga, who was with the Celtics for 9 years as an assistant coach, and he decided to stay in Los
Mm-hmm.
Angeles, where he is now with the Clippers under Ty Lue, and on that staff where he served a pivotal role for them. So there is the possibility that they decide. Another element, Igor, it's a bit of a tangent, but I'll be quick with it, is that
Mm-hmm.
the coaching staff right now is almost entirely comprised of people that Ime Udoka brought in. They're his guys. So what
Mm-hmm.
happens in the offseason to the rest of the coaching staff underneath Mizzula will be very
Mm-hmm.
interesting to see who sticks around, how many of them leave, all of that. How do they replace people? Because I'm not sure how many connections Mizzula has throughout the league. So that will be an interesting layer to this. And I wouldn't be surprised if they do have a number of holes to fill, if it stems from relationships that Brad Stevens has formed. He's someone who is well connected throughout the NBA. So that's an offseason development to keep an eye on. But like I said, Mizzula likely here for the long term. And I think that it's very important that Celtics fans are patient with him. This is the start of his first season as an NBA head coach. He was behind the bench last season. This was sprung on him deep into the offseason, right before media day and training camp got underway. So he is learning. He's the youngest active head coach in the NBA. I know that we want to live and die with every game, but at the same time, patience does need to be exercised here with Joe Mizzula. You put up the efficiency numbers there. Those are from heading into last night's game where they score 123, they give up 119. It speaks to a little more of a tilt towards an offensive emphasis, And I actually like that because with the rules being what they are, offense matters more than defense in most sports today. So I like that. You talked about also the absence of Robert Williams in particular. And when they get him back, as long as they can keep him healthy and upright come playoff time, what an impact it will make at both ends of the court. So I like the job that Joe Mizzula is doing while understanding that, of course, there are plenty of areas for him to improve and strengthen because that was always going to be the case going into this season under these circumstances.
So, as I understood, you believe that Joe Mizzula will change, his coaching staff in the off season if he stays the Celtics coach, of course.
Well, so what I'm saying, Igor, just to clarify there, is that it's a storyline to monitor. We don't know who, if maybe the entire coaching staff decides to stick around in Boston, but they were almost entirely brought in by Ime Udoka.
Yeah,
so it's just something to keep an eye on come the summer.
We saw Damon Stoudemire running the team in the absence of suspended Joe Mizzula. Like you said, it will be interesting to monitor this kind of situation. I want to ask you, I mean, it's early season and these numbers that I show, I'm always telling when you analyze NBA until 50% of the regular season is played, all these numbers you can flash in the toilet, because after the new year and especially after the All-Star, the true potential of the team is shown there. And you said that we should be patient. I agree, because last year, in the first, after 1 month of Ime Udoka as the Celtics head coach, if you remember, the Celtics fans were writing the petition to fire Ime Udoka. And after the end of the last season, the Celtics fans were writing the petition Ime Udoka to stay the Celtics coach for life. So I mean, the things can change, and the coach needs time. I totally agree with you. I will ask you the third question about the fans are talking about it. First of all, like I mentioned, the front court. The Celtics front court is thin, and we have problem like. Keith Smith, I don't want to waste your time in posting the words. For example, Keith Smith noticed that heavy minutes load on our starters, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, Al Horford, and Derek White at the beginning of year, heavy load of minutes. Front court is thin, and tonight it will be even thinner without Al Horford. We are without Danilo Gallinari, who was projected to be important part of rotations. Robert Williams, probably the best defensive center in the league right now. I mean, Al Horford is there at center. I don't know, is this his natural position or no? The Celtics are running like small ball lineups, one center lineups or two guard lineups. Joe Mizzula was forced to run these kind of lineups. They are playing Noah Vonleh, Luke Cornett, Kabengele didn't play, and a lot of small ball lineups. The Celtics fans were, of course, Blake Griffin played very little at the first 8 games. So do you think that the Celtics will need to explore possibility of adding another big man? That's what the Celtics fans are talking about. Or do you think that the Celtics will be fine after Robert Williams returns to the lineup?
Yeah, I do a piece after every game called Here's What Stood Out, and it's a deep dive into each game. And like I said, here's what stood out from it. And one of the things that I always unpack is, how is Joe Mizzula managing rotations? I did it with Ime last year as well. And so what I've noticed is, as you talk about these different lineup combinations, during a game, especially in those middle quarters, he will skew dramatically towards one side or the other. For example, against Cleveland, when they were forced to go big to match up properly in the home loss on the last Friday night, they had a lineup with Tatum and Brown in the backcourt, no traditional point guard, and went particularly heavy. They've also shown that, like you said, they're willing to go small without a traditional center or just one big on the floor. And they're even willing to trust a front court of Cornette, Grant Williams, and Sam Hauser. And that combination last night with Tatum and Malcolm Brogdon went on a 20-9 run in the first half that shifted momentum in Boston's favor. And yet I still look at it, Igor, and thank you for setting me up here, because I've got another piece that is going to come out shortly, probably on Monday, maybe Tuesday, taking on this angle, because I absolutely think they need to go out and acquire another center based on what we're seeing and looking ahead to the playoffs. You cannot bank on Robert Williams, or, as scary as it is to think, Al Horford staying healthy either, given all the minutes, and they're trying to manage him. Of course, they're not going to play him on the second night of a back-to-back tonight, but they do need to be careful here. And Cornette, he logs about 15 minutes last night, but I still look at it and say, I don't know how much Blake Griffin is going to be able to contribute to this team. He should play tonight, but before that, the last time he suited up was on Friday, a week ago. So I look at it, and I think there are some interesting candidates to target, and I'll give a tease. One person that I'm going to put in the piece is Naz Reid in Minnesota, who's not getting a lot of minutes, and I think he would help as a second unit center.
Dwight Howard said the Celtics should hire me. I mean, I you know that I dislike Dwight Howard, but
I think we talked about him in the offseason, Igor. I'm not saying they should, but they have to give serious consideration to it.
Just roll the dice. Okay, Bobby. So, what do you expect from the Knicks tonight without Al Horford? I hope the win. We're a better team than the Knicks, right?
Both teams playing on a back-to-back. Knicks got the win in Philly against the team that didn't have Harden or Embiid. So we'll see what happens here. For the Celtics, they treated defense like it was optional and weren't interested in it the last time they had a back-to-back and they were playing in Orlando, and they were able to win a high-scoring affair. Malcolm Brogdon even acknowledged to us that it was really just a matter of them being more talented than a young Magic team. So with this Knicks matchup, expect the Knicks on their home court, MSG, on a Saturday night to compete. And the question is, can the Celtics show up and match that energy? Because they are the more talented team. Even without Al Horford, they should take care of business. But if they're not focused, then they're going to end this night with a loss.
Excellent stuff. And thanks for coming to the show. Tell me where the people can find you. SportsIllustrated.com, Celtics, at Twitter, at Bobby Krivitsky, right? Where else?
Igor, you're the best. I'll keep it simple. SI.com/NBA/Celtics. And then on social media, I have a Twitter addiction, so I'll be posting there regularly, especially throughout the course of a game, at Bobby Krivitsky. For those of you who can see how my name is spelt there, excellent. For those of you who are only listening to this show right now, that last name is Kriv as in Victor, ITSKY.
Bobby, all the best of luck in your work, and I will invite you definitely here because you're the best, my go-to guy, NBA wise.
Happy to come on, Igor. Always a pleasure.
Go Celtics. So that was Bobby Krivitsky from Sports Illustrated. We are going further into the show again. I want to tell you again where you can find us. Of course, End the Zone Sports Talk Radio, our homepage. I'm Igor Mitic. Find me at my profile. Also, find Kevin Dixon's profile. Live streams are going there, or End the Zone Sports Talk Radio, or at Twitter. And of course, at YouTube channel, it's called Kevin Dixon and the Zone Sports Talk Radio YouTube channel. So we are doing live stream at the Facebook, at Kevin Dixon profile, and at the YouTube. So you can find us there, and you can give me the ring, because tonight I'm alone, sadly, because Andy is working hard, but he will be there with us the next show, I hope. So again, the Shamrock Sports Talk Radio, you can call us at the number 512 543 4662. You can see at the running ticker down, and for those who didn't see, you can find also our official Twitter profile, which is looking like this: Shamrock Sports Talk Show, Kevin Dixon, and you can write us there, and of course find Igor Mitic profile. And enough of advertising. Let's recap what is happening with the Celtics. We have loss from Cleveland overtime, 113-114. One bad loss, but not terrible. When we talk about all the circumstances, and we have Chicago Bulls win. Why I put this efficiency landscape shouldn't be surprise to anyone who watched the 5-3 Celtics through the beginning of the season, but the Kirk Goldsberry latest efficiency landscape, the Celtics are mixed bag. Boston owns the league's 8th most efficiency offense. You can see the picture is small, but the Celtics are 8th offense in the league, which is top 10, which is good. Last year they were top 5, if I'm correct, but their defense, who was at the end of the season the best in the league, right now is in the bottom half with 18th. And the net rating is 10th in the league, not so bright. As the ESPN analyst warns, of course, this is a small sample size of only 2 weeks basketball. We have right now eight games played. But the Celtics leading defense of last season has not made an appearance this year yet. Yes, Robert Williams will definitely help the Celtics, but he also missed and was missed good amount of games last season and the postseason, and the Celtics defense was still solidly stellar. When you have got the reigning defensive player of the year, Marcus Smart, and member of first all defensive team, you shouldn't be this bad defensively. One issue is the team's big man as a whole. Al Horford is playing center, and he isn't playing at the level he played last season, and he is carrying heavy minutes load. Tonight he's out. Daniel Tice is out, and we don't have Daniel Tice, and Blake Griffin, like Bobby said, is not due to the task. Noah Vonleh, Luke Cornett, Cavengele, they are not serviceable big men at the moment. The Celtics wasted their mid-level exception of Danilo Gallinari, who is now out for the season. They also allowed their large Evan Fournier TPE to expire unused. Stevens did reportedly attempt to sign Montezi Harrell at the cheap, but Montezi Harrell, former sixth man of the year pick, his former coach Doc Rivers and Philadelphia 76ers instead. So what can the Celtics do in the meantime? They could try to sign another veteran like Derek Favors or Dwight Howard, or give main Celtics Kabengele a shoot. But also the rest of the team needs to step up defensively, because the guards and the forwards have been sleeping as well. Marcus Smart just can't be satisfied with his playing yet. He needs to do defense at the level of the last season and demand maximum extra effort from the team. Head coach Joe Mizzula also needs to push the right buttons to get the most out of the team defensively, just like last season Ime Udoka was able to do it. I certainly hope that we will get back to the last year's level. Let me just present you injury report for New York Knicks. For New York Knicks, Mitchell Robinson, sore right knee is questionable, and game time decision from the Knicks. And for the Celtics, Gallinari out, Robert Williams out, Al Horford out. Let us talk about good things, or for example, the win against Chicago last night, 123-119. This was the good win. Not the best finishing of the game. Takeaways from Keith Smith for the Celtics blog. Takeaways for the Celtics, blog. No collapse this time, unlike Cleveland game. Tatum's NBA MVP night. Malcolm Brogdon, first of the bench, an excellent game for Malcolm Brogdon. Joe Mizzula, Atos were brilliant. Brown and Vooch. Vooch had a good stretch at the end of the game, threatening the Celtics to tie the game and send it to the overtime. But Brown and Vooch hot streak. Smart in the post, and Al Horford still has it when he wants to play. The reserves playing defense, especially the unit with Malcolm Brogdon. Derek White steps up late, and back-to-back game next. Malcolm Brogdon has excellent game, but we will come to Brogdon yet. About this game, Boston took 39 free throws. People were saying that the officials were whistling for Chicago. Boston took 39 free throws. Chicago took 25 free throws. Bulls committed 28 fouls, and the Celtics committed 23 fouls. Tatum has got 17 of 20 on the free throw line. DeRozan got 20 of 22 from the free throw line. The officials were not against Boston anyway. The Celtics won 123-119. Jason Tatum was 36, 12, and 6, 17 of 20 free throws, close to career high free throw attempts, if I'm correct. Malcolm Brogdon, best game as a Celtic, which is encouraging from the bench, 25 points. If he's playing like this, we have the chance to get back to the finals again. Jaylen Brown, 16 points, and the good defense at the end of the game on Vucevic. Horford, 11-5-5. The Celtics shooted 49.4% field goal. The Celtics were 9 of 31 for threes, which is not good. Under 50%, under 40% actually. The Celtics 14 Um, 14 turnovers for Chicago. DeRozan unstoppable, 46 points, 20 or 22 free throws. DeRozan is amazing, amazing man. Vucevic 24-12, he was amazing as well at the end of the game. Almost carried Chicago Bulls to tie the game and send it to the overtime from the big deficit in the fourth period, 11 points minus. Zach LaVine, the third star of the team, 16 points. The Bulls shooted 52% from the field, which is better than the Celtics, and better from the 3 points, 11 of 28 for the Bulls, which is giving them advantage plus 6 from the 3 points line. Bulls committed 17 turnovers, more than Celtics. Celtics 14 turnovers, which is the key of the game tonight for the Celtics. Not the prettiest win for the Celtics, but wins are wins, especially against a Bulls team that gives Boston trouble. Um, Career high 20 free throw attempts for the Celtics, not 8 for Jason Tatum, not 18, 20 free throw attempts for Jason Tatum. Big clutch time playing for Derek White. Derek White had 5 points. 2-pointer, then 3-pointer. Good on Brown for kicking it out to Derek White and not forcing a shot in the paint. My thoughts at the end of the game, at the fourth, I think that I would go with Horford, Grant Williams, Tatum, Brown, and Brogdon to close tonight's game. Brogdon was indeed good, and he said after the game that he was feeling comfortable as a game closer. So we can count, we can count on Malcolm Brogdon as a closer and in the playoffs because he is experienced and very good player. Celtic starters were tonight Al Horford, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and Marcus Smart. This is usual starting lineup at the beginning of this year. Bulls starters were Nikola Vucevic, Patrick Williams, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, and Ayo Dosunmu. So let me see what else from the pictures do I have for you prepared from the games. This is from Cavaliers. Fun fact, Black Griffin took the biggest pay cut in the NBA history. He was making 32 million in 21st, 22nd year, and he accepted 2 millions veteran minimum right now. Al Horford said that Luke Cornett, who logged 18 minutes, like Bobby Krivitsky said, Luke Cornett logged 18 minutes, and Luke Cornett is working as hard as I've seen any guy working right now. The prize from Al Horford. Again, I still do not like Luke Cornett as a player. I think that the Celtics should sign a big man. This is just my feeling. I mentioned Derek Favors, Dwight Howard. Maybe at the trade deadline or later, the Celtics will be able to sign the big man. I think that even with Robert Williams returning, the Celtics will need the big man, considering injury-prone front court consisting of 36 years old Al Horford and injury-prone, Robert Williams. So we do need big men. Malcolm Brogdon, we need to prize him. Malcolm Brogdon is the first guard in the Celtics history to record these stats since 1980, 25 plus points and 90% field goal. Malcolm Brogdon was a beast. Malcolm Brogdon was the same, just like from the first 2 years with the Bucks when he was looking like the second star, close to Giannis Antetokounmpo. He was playing the role that Jrue Holiday is playing with former NBA champions. So if he continues to play like this in the playoffs, the Celtics will have the chance to enter the finals and battle for banner number 18. Jason Tatum passes Larry Bird for the most points in the first 8 games in the Celtics history. He scored 247 points, and Larry Bird, in his best year, in the first eight games of the season, Larry Bird scored 245 points. So let me ask Kevin Dixon, great stats. Thanks, Kevin. I'm alone tonight, but I have excellent interview with Mr. Bobby Krivitsky. As you can see, Jason Tatum, you cannot see, but he was 36 points, 6 assists, and 10 rebounds. He was monster last night, if I'm correct. So let me see. We should move to Cleveland Cavaliers loss. I mean, this is the Celtics loss from Cleveland Cavaliers. Let me just present you some notes from Cavaliers. So the starters against Cavaliers were Al Horford, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and Marcus Smart. Cavaliers starters were Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley, Caris LeVert, and Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland. Remember a couple of games ago, Caris LeVert and Donovan Mitchell posted 41 points apiece in the TD Garden, and that's like 82 points combined by, two guards of opponent's team in the TD Garden. I cannot remember where this situation happened before. So you can see that Darius Garland, the star of the team, okay, they have Caris LeVert, they have Donovan Mitchell, Jarrett Allen, the future star in Evan Mobley. But people, Darius Garland is really, really good. And I mean, Darius Garland returned to the game. So my notes are: the refs have allowed Boston to beat the crap out of Jarrett Allen, who is my favorite, one of my favorite centers, down the low earlier. Not sure what's that about. About game with Cleveland in general. This team was in the finals. They cannot be this dumb. They were playing, especially in the crunch time and overtime, incredibly stupid and dumb. The Celtics should not allow to play dumb basketball anymore. This loss is not hurting. It's the beginning of the season, but I mean, it is bad, but not the end of the world. But the Celtics played dumb. Another note, at the fourth period, what the hell the Celtics are doing. You cannot dribble ahead there unless you know you're 100% going without a timeout. Another note that I mentioned with Bobby Krivitsky, that the minutes are really major issue already. The Celtics had no legs left in the final. In the final period, and especially overtime. And the Celtics had no legs left by the finals lost last year, and several of them talk about it. They have got to get the minutes down somehow, or they will be drained away. This is simple. So Joe Mizzula will have to figure out rotations, either, like I said, to sign serviceable big men and cut the rotations, maybe even the forward, it doesn't matter, or to play Pritchard, but cut the minutes somehow, or you will be in real troubles. I mean, another note from me, closing group is a bit awkward for Cleveland Cavaliers, you know. For example, they played like Garland, Allen, Mobley, Lavert, Mitchell. Should Lavert close or a defender? Staggering Garland and Donovan Mitchell will help Cavaliers in the future in you know diminishing the offensive lulls that Cleveland is going. After finishing rewatching Boston and Cleveland game, uh, some Cavaliers thought Garland is really good. Of course, he's really good. He's all-star man, and Donovan Mitchell is getting after it on the defense. Evan Mobley is in the game changer on the defense, and like I said, closing group is a little awkward and strange. Another notes from Cleveland: missed layups in the fourth and overtime. Tatum making MVP leap, like I said, and good game. Messy end game in overtime. Gotta get minutes down. This is disappointing loss, but not bad loss. Cleveland is a good team. White is making plays, which is good, and um, in one moment at the end of regulations, take a timeout, Joe. This is like late calling timeouts note for Joe Mizzula. Grant is having the new skills. He's improving. Tatum is blocking shoots, and that's it from my notes. So the statistics from Cleveland Cavaliers and Boston Celtics game. Darius Garland played in return 42 minutes. He's really good. 29 points, 5 rebounds, 12 assists, 3 steals, plus minus plus 10, which is second highest in the team behind Evan Mobley. Garland shooted 9 of 20 field goals and 6 of 7 free throws and 5 of 11 threes, which is good. 5 defensive rebounds, which is excellent. Jarrett Allen, who got beat literally physically down low at the beginning of the game, 14 and 14, 14 points, 14 rebounds, 2 blocks, 3 turnovers, minus 17, 6 of 11 field goals, not the best game of his, 11 rebounds. Evan Mobley, power forward who played 32 minutes, 15 points and 7 rebounds, 2 assists also. He was the team highest plus 15, which is good for Cleveland Cavaliers. 7 of 8 field goals, 1 of 2 free throws, and 1 for 3-pointers. 5 defensive rebounds. Caris LeVert, he's having after 41 points the previous game, he's having like 15 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. Also, 4 of 12 field goals for Caris LeVert. He was shooting 4 of 6 free throws and 3 of 7 pointers, not the best. He was having 8 rebounds. Donovan Mitchell, after posting 41, he posted 25 points the other night in Cleveland win after overtime. 25 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks. Donovan Mitchell is having 11 of 27 field goals. Also, he was having 4 rebounds. From their bench, Wade, who was starter in the first game with us, he was relegated to the bench after Garland returned. He was the first man of the bench, 24 minutes, but he was like 6 points, 4 rebounds. Kevin Love, the second man of the bench, 8 points, 5 rebounds of the bench, and 0-5 for 3, not the best game for his. And Chedi Osman, 12 minutes, 4 rebounds, and Isaac Okoro, only 7 minutes for Cleveland Cavaliers. Now we are coming to Boston Celtics, and their stats against their stats against Cleveland. Derek White, 32 minutes, 3 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 blocks, +7. 1 of 4 field goals, 3 rebounds, not the best game for Derek White. Al Horford, 39 minutes, 12 and 12. 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. Really solid game for him. 5 of 11 field goals, 1 free throw, 1 4 for 3, 11 rebounds defensive, and 1 offensive rebounds, 12 points, 12 rebounds for Big Al. But 39 minutes too much. We got to get these minutes down. Marcus Smart was having 36 minutes, 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. Also, he was shooting 5 of 12 field goals, 5 free throws, and 1 of 5 for threes. Marcus Smart was shooting 1 of 5 for threes. He was having 6 rebounds and 5 assists. Not the best game, but okay, he was playing 36 minutes. And Jason Tatum, 26 and 12 and 6, 42 minutes, second highest minutes at the team. Jason Tatum, 8 of 21 field goals, 8 of 8 free throws, 2 of 9 for 3s, and Jason Tatum was having 12 rebounds and 6 assists. Also, Jaylen Brown, 44 minutes, the highest minutes rate at the team. He was having like 30 minutes, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 steal. Jaylen Brown was shooting 10 of 26 field goals, also free throws 7 of 7. He was shooting for 3-pointers 3 of 10, and Jaylen Brown, highest scoring player at the team, 30 points from the bench. Grant Williams, the first man of the bench, 11 points and 7 rebounds. Grant Williams, 2 of 6 for threes, 3 of 4 field goals. Solid game for Grant. Malcolm Brogdon, 15 for 3, solid performance, 24 minutes. Very solid minutes for him. 6-11 field goals, 2 of 2 free throws, 1 of 3 for threes, and 4 rebounds. And finally, Luke Cornett, 2 minutes. We were playing like 3 man bench, but usually when Joe Mizzula is playing bench, he was playing Sam Hussier, Grant Williams, Malcolm Brogdon, Luke Cornett, or Noah Vonleh win either Tatum and Brown. So he's stretching Tatum with the second unit, and that is how we are stretching people. A stats comparison, I mean, Boston, like I said, 41% field goals. Cleveland, 42% field goals. Cleveland shooting a little bit better field goals. 3-pointers, 27% Boston, 28% Cleveland, a little better. Cleveland field goals. Cleveland scored 42 out of 100 attempts, and the Celtics scored 38 field goals out of 93 attempts. So Cleveland scored 4 more field goals at the game than the Celtics. 3-pointers tied. We were 11 of 41. We made 11 free throw 3-pointers, and Cleveland also made 11 3-pointers out of 39 attempts. So from the free throws line, the Celtics had big advantage, scoring 26 of 27 attempts, and Cleveland 19 made free throws out of 24 attempts. Rebounds 52 Boston, and Cleveland 51. offensive rebounds 8, Boston, Cleveland 9. So a little advantage Boston. Assists Boston 26, Cleveland 24. Advantage for Boston. Steals 6-5 for Cleveland. Block shoots 9-4 for Boston. Turnovers 14-11 Boston. More turnovers, which is not good. Fouls almost equal 24-23. That is for the Cleveland Cavaliers Boston Celtics game against. This is the loss, and you could see. I mean, you can see my impressions and statistical comparison. Again, Garland is really good. Mitchell is getting after it on the defense. Mobley is in the game. He was game changer on the defense. Closing group is a little bit awkward. And for example, should Lavert close or defend? Staggering Garland's and Mitchell's minutes at the end of the game will help the Cleveland Cavaliers to, diminish the offensive lulls. Tonight's game, with New York Knicks, we will see how Joe Mizzula will play, because we will be without Al Horford and without Robert Williams. So the Knicks without one player, potentially Mitchell Robinson. But the Boston without, of course, previously injured Robert Williams, then Danilo Gallinari, and right now Al Horford, the first three big men in the rotations. We will see Luke Cornette as a starter, potentially, or Noah Vonleh. I would say Noah Vonleh from the bench and Luke Cornette as a starter, with Marcus Smart, Derek Williams, Jason Tatum, and Derek White. Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Luke Cornette. My prediction for the starting unit against the Knicks game. The game actually started, and probably you are watching Boston Celtics and New York Knicks. So Boston Celtics actually started Blake Griffin, Grant Williams. Grant Williams was at the center at the beginning of this game. So Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and Grant Williams. Blake Griffin entered after 5 minutes in the place of Grant Williams. Grant Williams is undersized center. I don't like the units with Grant Williams as a center. I said it, and I think that we need another reliable center. I don't like Blake Griffin at the beginning of the year as well. New York Knicks at the other end, still playing with starters. So they are playing Julius Randle, Isaiah Hartenstein from Oregon, fourth year. He is Isaiah Hartenstein, the center. Julius Randle, power forward, ex All-Star. He is from Dallas, Texas. College, Kentucky, 8 years experience. He was having really good first year with the Knicks, signed big contract, and he's underperforming from there. Jalen Brunson, he was born in New Brunswick. He's 40 years from Villanova. He's point guard, Jalen Brunson. Then very solid player in RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett is shooting guard. He was replaced Reggie Lewis, who went to Detroit, if I'm correct. So he was born in Toronto, Canada. RJ Barrett. He was from Duke. The college was Duke. 3 years, and in 8 games, 35 minutes, really solid minutes for him. And finally, Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish came from Atlanta, the team Atlanta Hawks. He is 23 years old, from Pennsylvania. He is from Duke. 3 years old, 3 years in the NBA, and 18 minutes average in the first 8 games of the season. Cam Reddish, he was absent with illness, but he returned to the lineup against the Hawks. Non-COVID illness. He was questionable against the Hawks, but he returned to the lineup. Currently, if my statistics are good, it's 15-15 in the first, period. And in the other games tonight, Brooklyn is leading Charlotte in the second period 40-33. New Orleans, Atlanta 23-17 in the first period. Tonight, you're seeing Oklahoma City Thunder and Milwaukee Bucks. Also, Houston Rockets, Minnesota Timberwolves, San Antonio Spurs, Denver, Portland, Phoenix, and one game is finished. Sacramento defeated Orlando after overtime, 123-126. The Kings defeated Orlando 126-123. And finally, to tell you the standings, Milwaukee Bucks, ex-champions, Eastern Conference winners as well. They are leading the league 8-0, 100%. Cleveland Cavaliers are 87.5%, 7-1. They defeated us twice. Boston Celtics, despite not so good start, they are number 3, 5-3, which is telling 62.5%, which is telling you that you should not be worried at the beginning of the season, because the season is long. Like I said, after New Year, after 42 games played, we can talk about this Celtics team and its identity. Until then, it's only preseason for me, like preseason or the first half of regular season, which doesn't matter for me, or very, very little. Atlanta number 4, 5-3. Toronto number 5, 5-4, and New York Knicks, our currently opponent, 4-4, number 6, 500. Chicago 500 also, number 7, 5-5. Indiana number 8, 4-5, 44%. The same as number 9, Washington, 4-5. Philadelphia 4-6, 40%. The most unpleasant surprise currently at the Eastern Conference are Miami Heat 11, 4-6, and Philadelphia 76ers number 10, 4-6. So whenever you think that the Celtics are doing bad, just remember that you are not Philadelphia 76ers fan, nor Miami Heat fan currently at the moment. It could be worse. Boston is leading 20-19 against the New York currently, so I will turn on the game in a couple of minutes. I hope that you're watching. Points: Brown 6, Tatum 6, White 5, and Smart number 3. That's it from me. I want to really thank you, Bobby Krivitsky from SportsIllustrated.com Celtics. I hope that you loved Mr. Bobby Krivitsky, and you can find his work, Sports Illustrated Celtics, and also at Twitter at Bobby Krivitsky. This was Shamrock Sports Talk Show, Season 1, Episode 3. The Celtics failed from Cavaliers again, and the Celtics defeated Bulls 123-119. Ime Udoka will be the next head coach, and the impact of the Celtics. We discussed about that. And where can you find us? We are Igor and Andy, or Shamrock Sports Talk Radio show. And you can find us at Twitter, Shamrock Sports Talk Show at Twitter. You can see our Twitter profile. Also, we are streaming live from Kevin Dixon's profile. Kevin Dixon at the Facebook, and I'm sharing from my profile, so you can find the streams there. And also, you can find End the Zone Sports Talk Radio page and YouTube live streams. YouTube channel is called Kevin Dixon's End the Zone Sports Talk Radio channel. Okay, folks. That was it. I really hope that you enjoyed the show as much as I enjoyed with you. The show is over. We are going to talk again with Andy, hopefully, the next Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Until then, go Celtics, defeat the Knicks, and we're hoping for banner number 18. It is all about banner number 18. Okay, have a good night, all, and go Celtics.